The best advice I can give is to start looking early. That is the main key. You need to look 1 or 2 months out. Sometimes when it comes to Chicago, and as I'm planning my sleeper car trip up to Chicago, I may be looking as far as 4 or 5 months out. But I think it's something that all miles and points enthusiasts, whether it's Amtrak or airlines, it's a known thing to always look early, look often, and see what dates are giving you the best bang for your buck. The one thing I can say is if you find a good cash rate and you feel like you have the points and you'd rather the points go toward that trip instead of paying cash, and you looked early enough that it's a very good price, then just go back on the website and just say, okay, I'd like to search based on, there's actually a toggle which will say use points, and you could just redo the search with that toggle on, and it'll give you the points value, and you could book your trip that way.
A good way to conduct yourself when looking for routes. And I wonder, can you book speculative travel with Amtrak? If you were to say, oh, maybe I'll go to Chicago in September, would you be able to book today in April and then cancel with no penalty?
So I believe that there is a small penalty on points travel.
Ah,
I believe if you cancel it far out enough and you call in, there is an Amtrak line. And from what I have experienced in the past, they're very good about that, where they will just say, don't worry about it. We're just going to credit you back all of your points. I think those
all
penalties
right. So
only
there's
apply
a
if you get really close to that departure date. And then that's when you start to run into some issues.
Yes, we don't have official dates yet for the Chicago Seminars events, but it could be an interesting train of thought to book multiple weeks, speculating on possible arrival dates. And if you could just cancel those without penalty, you've probably saved points or saved money by booking ahead of
Right,
time.
absolutely, and if you had the enhanced, bonus, offer for that preferred card, you definitely would be able to get a couple of speculative dates out there because 40,000 points does go quite a long ways on Amtrak.
Yes, we don't want to go down the tunnel. We don't want to go off track. We want to make sure that we don't lose points or get penalized for cancellations.
Absolutely.
And how does the experience change? If you were maybe a tall person or if it were a long trip, how would that be?
The trip that I took, the 30 hours, Miami to New York in coach was quite challenging. Luckily, I'm not too tall, so I was able to put the seat back as far as it would go and try to get a couple hours of decent sleep. But if you are tall and that kind of seat configuration would be uncomfortable, you definitely don't want to do that for long distance journeys. There's two types of sleeper cars on a lot of long distance trains. They're very slim beds, but you could actually book it for two people. And you could have one on top, one sleeping on top, one on the bottom. But then you also have a bedroom configuration, which usually will have much more space to walk around and a private bathroom with a shower.